Welcome to highlights of the 2015 Caroline Cooler Cup. I'm David Anderson, and after 4 fabulous years of this famous outdoor social futsal competition, the 5th anniversary of the Cooler Cup moved indoors to the world-class Futsal Oz Stadium in the glorious hills of Mount Evelyn. A record 6 teams took to the field in 2015, with former champions Frankston Dees and Highett Howarths joined by the new merged force of South Yarra St Kilda Arceagles. These 3 would take on 3 new clubs: Mount Dandenong Rangers, Healesville Hose and Mount Evelyn Marlins. The first game of the round-robin tournament was between the Frankston Dees and local side Mount Evelyn, and right from the outset, the Dees were out to make a mark on the 2015 competition. The Dees took a hard-fought 4-2 win over the Marlins, with Vincenzo Musico's 2 goals the difference in a great opening match. Game 2 saw the family club Howarths play the young team from Healesville. Due to circumstances, only 2 Howarths were available for the tournament, meaning that the new Highett members would need to gel quickly to be in with a chance in the most competitive Cooler Cup on record. The late goal from Simon Carr couldn't get Highett over the line, with the Hose winning on their Cooler Cup debut. Game 3 saw a battle between new team Mount Dandenong and the Arceagles, a merged venture between the South Yarra Arcadians and the St Kilda East Eagles. Does 2 teams make one great one? The first test was a tough one.
because they don't, Shanghai don't accept the contract. He was going to sign for Victory a couple of years ago.
Oh! It seems like...
I think Dawson a private jet.
Like, he'll never sign for it.
They would never, ever.
In one of the tightest games of the tournament, the Arceagles got the job done 1-0, with both teams having their chances to put more goals on the board. The next game saw former champion club Frankston take on Highett in what would be another low-scoring affair. The Dees got up 1-0, Adem Rowley's goal, the difference in a lacklustre game. The Dees' success, though, saw them sit pretty at the top of the table, but that was something that the Howarths and the Arceagles were keen to address. Unfortunately, vision of this game was misplaced by the tournament organiser, so the only way to celebrate the Arceagles' 1-0 win is with these terrific images from Rodrigo Alvarado. The tight win for the Arceagles kept their unbeaten run going, but the Howarths could hold their head high against the benchmark team. Game 6 was a battle of the East, Mount Evelyn and Mount Dandenong. Again, vision was compromised, but a pair of goals from Hampton Street hero Nick Dean saw the Rangers get across the line with a 3-1 win. So after 6 games, Mount Evelyn and Highett were the only teams to not register a win. Highett had a chance to address that in Game 7, but the Arceagles were again too strong. So cocky, the Arceagles even squabbled over who would score, but they eventually ran away 3-1 and moved to the top of the ladder for the first time. Game 8 saw the Howarths take on the Marlins. Finally, vision returned to the production, and finally, the Marlins started to make a splash. Hayden Kerridge and Jay Hamilton were the 2 standouts for Mount Evelyn, bagging 2 goals each and giving them their first Cooler Cup victory. Game 9 was between the Dees and the Rangers. It proved to be a low-scoring affair, but a highly entertaining one. Not even this Nick Dees blast could break the deadlock, leaving the scores at 1-1. But with such a tight league ladder, every point would count as the battle raged on. Highett and Mount Evelyn played game 10, and as you will see, the back of the net was given a proper workout.
Hey.
"12 goals were scored in total, with Highett taking its first win of the day. But for both teams, it was the end of their final hopes. Game 11 saw South Yarra St Kilda take on Frankston in the top of the table clash. It started off close, but ended as a blowout. Tim Topali, Matthew Barker and Andrew Van Leeuwen all registered a goal each as the Arceagles sunk the Dees and moved more than a game clear at the top of the league. Game 12 was between Mount Dandenong and Healesville, where both teams had everything to play for. A win would put either team in finals contention, and a loss would make life very difficult.
I'm sorry, it used to be me, but you are the most unorganized person I know. You're the most unorganized person I know. But, you know, I have not seen home.
It was one of the most dramatic games of the tournament, with Healesville dodging a bullet and taking a classic 3-2 win. South Yarra St Kilda returned to the pitch for their final game, And thanks to the mixed results in other matches, their spot in the final was already secure. For Mount Evelyn, only pride was on the line. All this made for an entertaining match. Another bagful for Tim Tapali saw the Arceagles home, ensuring an unbeaten run into the grand final. And to set the stage, the next game would determine their opponents. Game 14 between the Dees and the Howarths would see the winner advance to the final. Even a draw for the Dees would be enough to secure a place in the big dance, and there was plenty of emotion in this one. So after slouching mid-tournament, the Howarths dug themselves out of their hole and advanced to the final. A great result for the young squad. The final round-robin game was between Mount Dandenong and Highett. Although a spot in the final was out of reach, third overall was still up for grabs. 3 first-half Highett goals were enough for the Howarths to defeat Mount Dandenong, ultimately putting Highett 4th on the final ladder behind the Dees. But that was all academic. The focus quickly shifted to the grand final between the Arceagles and the Hose. With the cup on the line, the tension was at an all-time high. So sit back and enjoy the highlights of the 2015 Cooler Cup final. It was a resounding win for South Yarra and St Kilda as the merged team executed a convincing display against Healesville. The difference? 3 goals to Tim Tapali in another complete performance from the veteran player, ultimately running rings around his younger opposition. The only prize the team didn't win was the most goals, with Highett Howarth player Simon Carr bagging 10 to win the Golden Boot Award, edging out Tapali and Healesville's James Perry. But Tapali does now sit on top of the all-time goal-scoring list. So, in the 5th running of the Caroline Cooler Cup, South Yarra St Kilda became the deserving champs. I'm David Addison, the official voice of the Cooler Cup, and we look forward to the next instalment of this prestigious futsal tournament.